Okay, we're back for round 20. Score 20. This will be 800 questions we've put on, so I'm starting to run out of questions. I might have to start doing it every 2 weeks or something because I'm running out of questions. Here's some of the scores from last week. Josie and Bill got a 28, and Jean and Davey from Lisburn got a 26, and Stevie and Rita got a 29. So they're all got good scores, and Caroline's in their double figures too. And don't know what Betty's scores Betty's getting, and Lily Smith's going to start doing it too. Well, some of the people actually know, and but we're going to start off here with round 1. I'm thinking the average is going to be around about the 28s. If you get the 30s, you'll be doing well. Okay, number 1. In which country will the 4 tops going loco in? Okay, so in which country will the 4 tops going loco in 1988? And number 2. In which country was the first heart transplant performed in 1967? In which country was the first heart transplant performed in 1967? And number 3. Who invented the atomic bomb? Who invented the atomic bomb? Number 4. In which TV cartoon would you have seen the local newspaper, the Daily Slate? In which TV cartoon would you have seen the local newspaper, the Daily Slate? And if you can remember, you're not getting the point for it, but could you remember the name of the paper boy that delivered it in the early seasons of it? Right, number 5, sorry. Which actors starred in the films called Duck Soup and Monkey Business? Which actors starred in films called Duck Soup and Monkey Business? And number 6. What type of foodstuff is fromage? Which type of foodstuff is fromage? And number 7. Which actress starred in the 2002 film Panic Room? Which actress starred in the 2002 film Panic Room? And the last one in this round. Who had a big hit with the song Walk Like an Egyptian? Who had a big hit with the song Walk Like an Egyptian? Okay. Pause your screen here. I'm going to give you the answers here in 5 seconds, and then you can go over them and mark them down. So I'm looking about at least 6 in this round from you. Number 1. In which country will the 4 tops going loco in? I don't hope you didn't write Acapulco, so I was looking at the country. It's Mexico. Mexico's the answer. In which country was the first heart transplant performed in 1967? It was South Africa by Dr. Christian Barnard, Professor Christian Barnard. The guy that done it, Louis Wasinski, received the heart plant. He received the heart, but he died 18 days later. But it wasn't anything to do with the heart. He died of pneumonia. So the guy that got the first heart transplant died 18 days later with pneumonia. Who invented the atomic bomb? Oppenheimer. Anybody remember his first name? Oppenheimer. Julius. So Oppenheimer, get a point for Oppenheimer. And which TV cartoon was the local newspaper called the Daily Slate? That was the Flintstones, and the wee paper boy was called Arnold. So the Daily Slate, the Flintstones gets you the point. Which actors starred in the films called Duck Soup and Monkey Business? I think I had about 21 films. It was the Marx Brothers. What type of foodstuff is fromage? It's cheese. And number 7, which actress starred in the 2002 film Panic Room? It was Jodie Foster. And who had a big hit with the song Walk Like an Egyptian? That was the Bangles. That reminds me, talking about Egypt, anybody ever goes to them wee stalls, you can get taken on very easily in them wee stalls. In any country, I remember Bill bought me a back of a map of the Sahara Desert. And then when he got me, and I says, Bill, that's a sheet of sandpaper. 30 rupees. 30 rupees. Right, we're going to go on to round 2. Add up them scores. And we're going to go on to, let's see, musicals. These are songs from musicals. And See how it's doing them. Number 1, which musical had the song Be Back Soon? Which musical had the song Be Back Soon? And number 2, which film musical had the song This Is Me? Which musical had the song This Is Me? And number 3, which musical is the music of the night from? And which musical is music from the night from? Music of the night. And number 4, Murrayhead had a big hit with One Night in Bangkok, but what musical is that from? Remember the wee song One Night in Bangkok? It was a good wee song, but what musical is it from? And number 5, Call Me Rusty is a song from which musical? Call Me Rusty is a song from which musical? And number 6, Another Suitcase in Another Hall is from which musical? The song Another Suitcase in Another Hall is from which musical? Okay, number 7, Susan Boyle became famous on Britain's Got Talent by singing I Dreamed a Dream, but what musical is that from? Susan Boyle became famous on Britain's Got Talent by singing I Dreamed a Dream, but what musical is that from? And the last one in this round, Merry Christmas Maggie Thatcher is a song from which musical? Merry Christmas Maggie Thatcher is a song from which musical? Right, Billy Gray, I think he'll get them all in this one. Josie and Bill's good at his musicals, so don't know what Stevie Reid is like, or Gene. So, Davey. Pause it. I'm going to give the answers here in 5 seconds, and then add up their scores. Keep note of them. 1, on which musical had the song Be Back Soon? I actually did this in school. We put a wee play on and we were singing this. It's Oliver. You can go, but be back soon. Be back soon. Which film musical had the song This Is Me? The Greatest Showman. And which musical is the music of the night from? It's Phantom of the Opera. And Murrayhead had a hit with One Night in Bangkok, but what musical it's from? It's from Chess. And Call Me Rusty is a song from what musical? Starlight Express. And Another Suitcase in Another Hall is from Evita. And Susan Boyle became famous on Britain's Got Talent by singing I Dreamed a Dream, and that's from Les Miserables. And Merry Christmas Maggie Thatcher is a song from Billy Elliot. Okay, add them up. The scores down. And we're going to go on to a wee mixture here, wee general one. Okay, in May the 13th, 1973, Bobby Riggs challenged a top women's tennis player to a tennis match known as the Mother's Day Massacre. Who was a woman tennis player? Okay, in May the 13th, 1973, Bobby Riggs challenged a top women's tennis player to a tennis match known as the Mother's Day Massacre. Who was the woman tennis player? Think about that one. Number 2, which month is St. George's Day in England? What month is St. George's Day in England? And number 3, what was the name of the uncle of the Addams family who could light a light bulb in his mouth? Okay, so what was the name of the uncle in the Addams family who could light a light bulb in his mouth? And number 4, in the old puppet series Andy Pandy, where did Andy live? Okay, where did Andy Pandy live? I'm not looking for a town or a city or something. He lived in a certain thing. And number 5, in a UK greyhound race, what colour of jacket does the number 3 dog wear? In a UK greyhound race, what does the colour jacket of the number 3 dog wear? I think in Australia, it's also the same colour in Australia, because some of the colours in Australia is different, but the 2 dogs different, but and they have 8 dogs, but the 3 dog in Australia and UK has the same colour jacket. Number 6, what product had the advertising slogan "The Makeup of Makeup Artists"? Which product had the television slogan "The Makeup of Makeup Artists"? And number 7, what was the name of the dog in the TV series Heart to Heart? What was the name of the dog in the TV series Heart to Heart? And your last one in this round. Which edible product you can find in the supermarket has a shape known as a hyperbolic paraboloid? And which edible product you can find in the supermarket has a shape known as a hyperbolic paraboloid? Okay, that's the shape of it. So what are you buying if you eat something that's the shape of a hyperbolic paraboloid? Some tough ones there, so pause them. And if you get a 5, you're doing well. Okay, here's the answers. In May the 13th, 1973, Bobby Riggs challenged the top woman tennis player to a tennis match known as a Muller's Day Massacre. I actually watched the series, The Battle of the Sexes. It was on TV, it was in the cinema, it was on TV. I recorded the other night and watched it, it was good. It was Margaret Court. Riggs won 2-0. She played awful. She was hitting them up in the air and she was missing and all. I don't know, she would have been under pressure, not much, because she was a good player, but everything went wrong that day and Riggs beat her 2-0, which led to the big Billie Jean King match a few weeks later, which Billie Jean King won 6-4, 6-3, 6-3. So the main one everybody probably remembers was the Billie Jean King match, but the first one there was the Muller's Day Massacre. It was Margaret Court where she got beat 2-0. What month is St. George's Day in England? It's in April. And what was the name of the uncle on the Addams Family who could light a light bulb in his mouth? It's Uncle Fester. In the old puppet series Andy Pandy, where did Andy live? He lived in a picnic basket. In the UK Greyhound race, what colour jacket does the number 3 wear? Well, the 1 wears red, the 2 wears blue, the 3 wears white, the 4 is black, and the 5's like a yellowy orange, and the 6 is black and white stripes in the UK, so it's white. So 6, what product had the TV advertising slogan the makeup of makeup artists? Max Factor. And what was the name of the dog in the TV series Heart to Heart? It was Freeway. And which edible product could you find in the supermarket that has a shape known as a hyperbolic paraboloid? It's a Pringle. Pringles are that shape. Right. We've got 2 generals. Number 1, what movie did the characters Rose and Jack? Okay, what movie are Rose and Jack 2 of the main characters? So I'll get that one. Number 2, the fictional writer J.R. Hartley featured in a TV ad for what in the 1980s? The fictional writer J.R. Hartley featured in a TV ad for what in the 1980s? And number 3, in World War I, how was Manfred von Richthofen better known? In World War I, how was Manfred von Richthofen better known? And number 4, who played Inspector Clouseau in the 2006 remake of The Pink Panther? Who played Inspector Clouseau in the 2006 remake of The Pink Panther? And number 5, what's a collective term for a group of ravens? What's a collective term for a group of ravens? And number 6, who did Gavrilo Princip assassinate? Who did Gavrilo Princip assassinate? And number 7, Tony Basil was a one-hit wonder in the 80s. I think it's come out a few times, this song, but what was our big song? Tony Basil was a one-hit wonder in the 80s, and what was the song she sang? And number 8, 3 different songs called The Power of Love, all got in the top 5. 2 of them got the number 1, and 1 of them got the number 4. Name the 3 artists. Now it's not a point each, but you'll get a point if you get the whole 3 of them. So there was 2 of them got the number 1 with The Power of Love, and 1 of them got the number 4 with The Power of Love. Who was the 3 artists? Okay, pause them. We're going to give you the answers, and then we're going to go on to the last round and then up your scores, and hopefully most of you will be in the mid 50s. Some of you might hit a 28 again this week, hopefully. Okay, here's the answers. And what movie are Rose and Jack two of the main characters? Titanic. The fictional writer J.R. Hartley featured in a TV ad for what in the 1980s? It was Yellow Pages, and they were looking at the book Fly Fishing by J.R. Hartley. They couldn't find it, and they were looking with the Yellow Pages to see who had it. So it's J.R. Hartley. It was Yellow Pages. In World War I, how was Manfred von Richthofen better known? The Red Baron. And who played Inspector Clouseau in the 2006 remake of The Pink Panther? It was Steve Martin. And the collective term for a group of ravens is an unkindness. An unkindness. And who did Gavrilo Princip assassinate? He assassinated Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which started World War I off. And number 7, Toni Basil was a one-hit wonder in the 80s, and what was her song? It was Mickey. And 3 different songs called The Power of Love got the number, well, the top 5, the full 3 of them. 2 got the number 1 and 1 got the number 4. And what were they? Well, the number 1s was Jennifer Rush with The Power of Love, and Frankie Goes to Hollywood with The Power of Love, and Huey Lewis got the number 4. Huey Lewis in the News with The Power of Love. You know, I seen him the other week, and where was he on? First time I seen him in ages. He made a wee appearance on the Blacklist on TV about 3 episodes ago. He was on the Blacklist, Huey Lewis, playing himself. Right. I started to do a music around this one, then I lost track because I was doing it on 2 different sheets, and so it's a half and half one really. So here's the last round. According to Neil Diamond, where do palm trees grow and the rents are low? According to Neil Diamond, I'm looking for a city. Where do palm trees grow and the rents are low? And number 2, in 1982, the German band Trio had a big number 2 hit. What was the song called? I used to like that. It came out when I went, Tommy and Kipper, we went to Benidorm in 1982, and it was a big song at the time. According to a Rolling Stones lyric, what did they want painted black? According to a Rolling Stones lyric hit, what did they want painted black? And number 4, what's the stage name of comedian Matthew Hall? Okay, Matthew Hall goes by another name, but what's the stage name of the comedian Matthew Hall? And number 5, which Central American country has a name which translates into English as the Saviour? Which Central American country has a name which translates into English as the Saviour? And number 6, who had hits in the 80s with Special Brew and My Girl Lollipop? Who had hits in the 80s with Special Brew and My Girl Lollipop? And number 7, which model appeared on the Bryan Ferry video for Let's Stick Together, and she also appeared on the video of Bryan Ferry's The Price of Love? Okay, so which model appeared on the Bryan Ferry video for Let's Stick Together? I think she came out as a tiger waving the tail, and or a lion or something like that, and she also appeared on his Price of Love video too. So who was she? And number 8, which confectionery product had the slogan, all you can do is chew? Which confectionery product had the slogan, all you can do is chew? A TV advert. Okay, so hope everybody down there in the Shankle Hospice are all keeping well and doing these cartoons, keeping doing the quizzes, and a big shout out to Rita again, and Stevie and Betty, Billy Gray and Lily and Margaret and Caroline. And maybe I find it hard to do it every week now. I can run out of questions. That's yet 100 questions. So hopefully every 2 weeks or something. I'll try and get some questions, because we're not being out to quiz. No more pub quizzes on the go and all that. It's hard to come across questions as we used to. Right, here's the answers. According to Neil Diamond, where do palm trees grow and the rents are low? Los Angeles, sun shines. What's it? It is fine, the sun shines all the time. Palm trees grow, the rents are low. So it's LA. In 1982, which German band had the big #2 hit with the song called, what was the song called? It was Da Da Da. According to a Rolling Stones lyric, what do they want painted black? A red door. And what's the stage name of comedian Matthew Hall? Harry Hill. And which Central American country has a name which translates into English as the Savior? El Salvador. And number 6, who had hits in the 80s with Special Brew and My Girl Lollipop? Bad Manners. And which model appeared on the Brand Furry video for Let's Stick Together, and she also appeared in The Price of Love? It's Jerry Hall. And which confectionery product had the slogan, all you can do is chew? In the TV advertisement, it's Fruit Pastels. Right, so I'm hoping you're going to get about 27 and 28, 26 again, because you're all going well. So let us know how you've done. I'll see you again soon. Have a good weekend.